do it.
Ricky Glaser here. We are out of the TheFloatLife headquarters. Ricky has come to step it up. He wants to learn how to do some grinds. He's excited. He's got the new bump.
Bang bumpers.
Bang bumpers. Ready to slide, live his dreams.
So we're out here. We're at the shop. Ricky came by, needed a fresh tire on his board. And so we're like, let's kick it. And he was saying, yo, I want to learn frontside nose slides. So we're gonna session and I'm gonna give him some tips on some frontside nose slides. And within the next little chunk of time, Ricky's gonna be lacing some super buttery, steezy front nose slides. And we want to bring you guys along the ride, so maybe you can pick up some fun, key information to get your frontside nose slides dialed.
Well, maybe you're a skateboarder that's come to one-wheeling and you want to see how to transfer it over. Maybe I can help you with that.
Well, let's get into it.
What do you do to warm up?
I don't. I just start riding.
Yeah, that's what I, because I ride and I go fast. I'm like, damn, if I like had to run out right now, I'd be in trouble.
Yeah. Well, what we could do, you know, we could do some squats real quick. Yeah, get it with me, Julian. Yep. Maybe do some little ankle rolls. Yeah. Some stanky legs.
Open up the hips.
Oh, those? Oh, then what kind of two types of
Same. And do you think you feel good?
I feel warm. I feel warm. Let's stop messing around and let's start doing some frontside nose slides. I've never taught like a really good skateboarder how to do a one-wheel trick before, so I'll just run through it real quick, what I think about when I do a frontside nose slide. I come in, I try to not come into one-wheel slides from too like wide out. Okay. Because if you come in and like really swing in, you're kind of taking your momentum and like going against the curb, and your board could bounce off. And so the kind of tricky part is getting basically a parallel approach, but just a little bit wider with enough of an angle to get your board up on the curb. But you don't want to come into it so wide that you bounce off or get on and have so much momentum going over the curb that you end up wanting to pop over the curb. Yeah. So I'll usually kind of like start pretty parallel, and then I'll swing out just a little bit right before I hit it. And then just like you were doing on your backside nose slides, you want to do that little like scoop almost, where it's almost like you're popping, but you're really just pushing your back foot down while you're pivoting, because that's like lifting the front up. Yeah, and pumping it up. I try to really just not put any weight like on my back foot. Oftentimes my back foot will end up just kind of like lightly touching, and I just sit on that foot, on my front foot on the rail. So swing in, pop up onto it, and I just sit on the front foot. And it's easiest to just do frontside nose slide on the curb and then go out fakie, because it kind of continues the motion and you don't really have to like twist your body up as much. Yeah. And so for most people, I'll always recommend to just take them to fakie a couple times to get the approach and the slide right. But then once you want to start bringing it back out to regs and like really throwing the freaking steez on it, I'll sit on the foot and try to just tweak my body as much as possible and look at the end of the feature. Yeah. And just dangle that back foot. And then since you're twisted up, once you get to the end, you can use that twist to like throw your feet back. Okay. So it's really similar to like a front board, but instead of really popping it and sitting in the middle of the board, you're more scooping it and sitting on that foot as opposed to the middle of your skateboard. Yeah. So it's very front board slidey, just with a couple minor tweaks, and then getting out is similar to the front board where you're just like trying to whip it back around.
Because the wheel is in the middle, so then the pivot point is kind of like if you were on a rail in the middle.
Right. True. Very true. So that's kind of like the basic rundown. Okay. So I think with that information in your brain, I say we just start hitting some. Yeah. And I'll just kind of chirp some things at you, and then you'll freaking lace one bolt. That's it. And we'll put a cheering sound effect.
Sounds good. Let's try. So would this be too wide?
It might be a little bit wide, but you can start with that.
Yeah, that's probably too wide.
It's like I'm coming on the curb kind of at like a 45. Yeah. And as I'm getting onto it, I'm pushing it that last little bit. Yeah. Okay. That's pretty good. Front step that one. Yeah. Woo! Oh, your gear that always helps me out is I'll just stand on the curb like I'm in the trick. It's like kind of program that into my brain.
Yeah.
And I'll do the same thing with like backside nose slides a lot. Cause you just kind of stand there and it just feels so different from the skate because you're on that one foot. So just that little like, just feeling that like, okay, I'm standing on this foot. Just thought, yeah.
I think what Bodhi was saying, at first you can go to fakie. I'm very much going like this. And what he's saying is the goal is to really lock and like look over and then come back. But you know, I'm just trying to feel out the slide a little bit. So I guess, am I explicitly going to fakie? I don't know. I'm just kind of trying to slide for now. Yeah! Alright, that was good. So I think now I just gotta try to look over my shoulder and just keep it sliding.
Yeah! That's it right there.
That's good.
It's so weird going to one wheel tricks when you're like a lifelong board sport athlete because it's some things translate over enough to where you're like tricking your muscle memory and your body like thinks it's gonna act one way and it totally doesn't. So it's like a weird reprogramming because he's probably got front boards on lockdown on the skateboard and his body's expecting it to be a front board and then it's like, whoa, and you're kind of like copying the program and tweaking it in the brain.
You know, since being at Braille, I've actually been getting way better at that. Because we have all these weird boards, right? And it's like, I know how to trade with my board, but how about I trade with something heavier? How about I trade with something wider? How about I trade with something where the point of weight is weird?
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm getting much better at feeling, oh, I probably can try this, and then do it, and be like, oh yeah, let's do more of that. And like thinking about, like what you're saying, the adjustments. So I think Braille has been helping me a lot with that, because I feel like I'm good at adapting to new things.
Yeah. That's hella interesting and makes all the sense in the world.
Makes it look so easy. But that is really sick. Alright, we got this. I feel like my momentum is just continuing and I gotta really like more conscious of the lock. You know what I mean?
I think you're absolutely right. Because it feels like you won't be able to get over it enough if you don't really come into it.
Yeah.
But you can more than you think. Like if you give it
Just
a
bit
slight approach and right at that last second, really like give it that turn in, it gives you everything you need. Because you don't need to get way over it.
Yeah.
You need just enough of that side
get
momentum
on.
to
Yeah.
set you over the top.
Okay.
Think your body's over the middle of the board and you're kind of trying to push it forward.
Okay.
Try to set your body more, like your hips and your body more over the front foot right when you get into that slide.
Okay.
And you can kind of leave the board behind you. If that makes sense.
Okay.
Oh! Boy!
That wasn't that many shots.
That was sick. Now, 2 to make it true. Yeah. Damn, that was cool.
I think I can do a better one. Oh, that was good, but then I went on. A little bit out of control, but what do you think? That's it? We take it?
Learning new tricks, trying new tricks, it takes a lot of tries. You see the videos and you just see the lands, but it's really a process of trying and failing and trying and failing and trying and failing, and then you kind of start figuring out what you're shooting for, and then it gets a little bit easier, but it's still hard. As you can see, this shit ain't easy, but it's fun and it's rewarding, you know? It's kind of like an analogy for life. You just keep up and then you kind of start getting better at whatever you're doing. but I'm proud of the guy. Frontside nose slides are tricky. I want to see your frontside nose slides. Post them on Instagram. Tag at TheFloatLife and at Ricky Glaser. Ricky Glaser. Glaser. New trick unlock. Shout out West Coast Land Pirate for the inspo. Seen it in a new normal. If you haven't seen a new normal, Julian will link it right there. Yeah. You.
That one I feel more controlled than the front nose. But you know, I'm on low miles. I'm working my best out here. Just keep progressing, keep pushing. Thank you, TheFloatLife, for having me out here. This is so fun.
All right, everybody. He did it.
Live my dream.
3 front nose slides.
Whoa. Hey, I got some things to work on, but I did land some. I'm high.
Definitely. What do you think was, if you can pick it out of your brain, what do you think was the trickiest part of the trick?
Yeah, so when I do it in skating, I tend to like push forward a lot. And I would say I'm kind of like leaning back a bit. But this, I just have to get used to the relationship of it being heavier and like pushing it on, but not pushing too far forward and kind of just like trying to like sit on it. So I mean, I guess it's just getting used to the board, and like the feeling of sliding when it's heavier is different as well.
Yeah, and the variable of the tire grabbing the curb,
yeah,
is definitely a weird thing to wrestle with.
In skating, say you're doing like a tail slide and the wheel's hitting, you wax that up. But
yeah,
here, like, I don't think that really works with these kind of wheels.
Doesn't help all that much. But sick, man. I'm freaking stoked.
Oh,
new trick unlock. That's a great feeling. Added to the trick book.
Yes.
And if you guys have any questions about your frontside nose slides, leave them down below in the comments. Where can people find you, Mr. Ricky?
You can find me on all of the medias: Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, at Ricky Glaser.
There you have it, folks. Go find him. Check out his clips. I'm sure you've already seen him. He's always popping up on all the Instagrams, all the barracks and stuff, because he's a wickedly talented skateboarder, very creative. I love watching him. You probably would too if you haven't yet. And you can check us out at TheFloatLife. Get some products for your Onewheel so you can start shredding like this at TheFloatLife.com. Like I mentioned before, check out our new film, A New Normal. Slaps. And we'll catch you guys on the next one. Let us know what trick you want to learn. And float on, my friends.
Whoa, that video was dope. If you're about to watch some more, this one right here is calling your name. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell for noties, and smash that like button. Float on, my friends.